Well, how you folks doing today? Today is Saturday. They're starting to open back up the world around here. You know, stores and stuff starting to open back up. But today we're going to talk about a couple of Chevrolet's iconic cars. The 78 Chevy Camaro Z28 Rally Sport. And 1977 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray. Now, if y'all been following my channel, you know I've had this car here for about 2 years now, close to it. Where we done the suspension under it, we done the interior in it. Pretty good car. You don't see much content on this. In that 2 years, I bet I haven't put 50 miles on this car. And the reason why I haven't put 50 more than that on it, this car's uncomfortable to drive. I stand 6 foot tall. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. So if I get in here, I'm sitting in the car. I don't know if you can tell. Well, see, I got my knee bent up against the deal. And down there I got my foot on the accelerator. If I put my foot up here where it's comfortable, I'm actually hitting the brake pedal. So I got to sit here and drive with my foot kinked to the right. As you see, my knee is kicked over here. This thing is so uncomfortable to drive. And the other reason why is these cars don't ride very well. They ride like a lumber wagon, they really do. They weren't very comfortable to ride in and drive when they first were built. So I don't drive it much. I just always wanted one. And I got one. It needs a good touch-up paint job on it, but you know, I don't care, it's done. Now this one here, I've had many of these cars. Many of them. Back, you know, years ago, you used to be able to pick them up for $200 or $300, but you ain't getting them for that kind of money anymore. Now I've had this one here for a few weeks. Hell, I drove around without no tags on it for a long time. I just finally got it legal yesterday. But I've put in over 200 miles on this car already. This car rides good. Good on the bumps, on railroad tracks, drives straight down the road. Had to do some front end work to it, but I got that taken care of. But people want to know, which one do I like having the most? Well, you know, I've had many of these cars when I was a grown up teenager in his 20s and 30s, you know. Had many of them. This is the only Corvette I've ever owned in my life. I love this Corvette. I just don't drive it, man. It's just too uncomfortable. But this thing here, we driving this every day. The only thing I don't like about this car, it's got a single wheel turning traction. So when I jump down on it, this wheel here is the only one that spins. Just an open differential, and that's the power wheel, and that's the only thing that spins. So I'm ordering a third member for it. You got to put another one of those underneath of it so I can get both of them to spin out. Because when I jump down on it, it always breaks loose because it's only spinning one tire. But this car here is amazing to drive. It's fun. A lot of fun. Different interior. Oh, and I had the seat redone too. You guys haven't seen that yet, have you? Yep, I took it up, had the driver's seat redone, completely redone. No more rips, nothing in it, don't have the pad on it, nothing. I think it came out damn good. You see the boxes back there, and I'll show you what those are for here in just a second. Now if you've seen those boxes in the back seat, they're front end parts. I took my nephew out. My nephew Jake out for a ride a few days ago, about a week ago. It's fun to get it to come up. See right here? That's your upper A-arm bushings. Anyway, if you look there, that's brand new. That upper A-arm actually came out. I don't know how it did it, but it came out. I was going to replace the A-arms on this thing, upper and lower. Put new stuff on it, said we had to mess with that 40-year-old metal. Couldn't find any. The only ones I had is them tubular racing A-arms, and they're $700-800 a piece. So we had to do all the press in and press out. I got that side completed, and I got this side done. I didn't film none of it because that's a lot of work, and I wasn't about to spend all day long doing it. Okay, some more comparison. This has got a 350 in it, 4-bolt main. It's out of a Chevy truck though, but it's a 4-bolt main. This one's built up 40 over. It's got Vortex heads on it. I couldn't tell you what kind of cams in it, but it will flat move. I'm sure it's only running about 300 horsepower, but it's a lot of fun. This one over here's got the stock Corvette motor in it, 350. It's got an Edelbrock carburetor on it. Somebody put the Edelbrock on it and the headers on it. That's all I've really done to this car. Yeah, as you can see by that upper ball joint, I replaced the whole front end underneath this car. So I've done a lot of work on this car, and I still don't drive it. So the question is, everybody wants to know, which car do I like the most? Well, honestly, I've always loved a Corvette because I could never afford one, you know, growing up. They're just too hot out of a car, but I always loved them. But I would take a Camaro any day of the week. Any day of the week I would take a Camaro. That's when I found this one. I had the money, I went and got it. I wasn't giving it up. But I also love the Corvette too. My problem is I ain't got no room here at the house to keep them, man. They're sitting in the sun. You know, the Corvette sits in the garage because it's got T-tops in it and they leak, which they always leak. I pulled them out today because I was cleaning out the garage, and everybody keeps asking me the same question, so that's why I'm doing this today. I mean, which one would you want? Here, let's see if the old Camaro will fire off. I haven't started it in a couple hours. Good boy. Carburetor's a piece of junk on this thing. I mean, it's a piece of junk. I've never liked a Holley carburetor, and that's what's on this. I don't know if it's a 650 or 700, but I just never liked them. This thing over here could sit for months. All I gotta do is get in and hit the gas a couple times and this thing fires right off. Look how smooth this car is. Quiet. So here's a question to you folks. Which one of these cars would you rather have? The Corvette or the Camaro? That'd be something for you guys to answer for yourself. I love how this car sounds, boy. Turn it. I love how this thing sounds. I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera. I got some blue smoke, light blue smoke coming out for the fuel. I think it just dumps too much fuel. When you got this thing here, it's all quiet. Shut this loud thing off. Okay, down to numbers. Down to numbers. What did I get for this Corvette? I don't even remember what I gave for this thing. But I sat down and figured out all the numbers the other day. Me doing the front end, the rear end, the interior, the brakes and everything on this car to get it road ready. I got about $14,000 in this damn car. I'll never see it. Never get my money back out of it. I'd be lucky if I got 10 grand out of this car if I went to sell it right now. This one over here, after doing the front end and the price I paid for it, and by the time I get to replacing the third member in the back end, I'll probably have about $9 grand in this car. So, which one do you guys prefer to drive? Let me know in the comments below. The Camaro I drive every day. Every day. And she doesn't get very good fuel mileage either. I haven't even tried to attempt the fuel mileage. I fill it up, and usually when I get home, it's a quarter to half a tank. But she's a fun car to drive. And you know, you just don't see these on the road that much anymore. You know, when they came out, man, they were good cars. They were raggedy, and people just tore them up. I mean, I tore up a bunch of them. Made many hot rods out of them. Wrecked a few of them. You know, you see a lot of these on the dirt track, race tracks, you know, on dirt track. But you don't see many of them anymore on the roads. When you do see them, they're in people's garages, tore apart or just rusted out. But Donald's gonna drive that car. It's fully insured too. This one here, you know, I see vets like this sitting around all over the place in people's driveways. There's a neighbor up the road's got one. It's been sitting outside in the same spot for years. And he finally put for sale on it, and I went up and asked him what he wanted for it. That dude wanted 10 grand for that thing sitting there. The whole interior's rotted out of it, popped the hood on it. All the wirings ate up from all the mice, everything, rodents eating on it. The motor looked like it's been running in years. But he was firm at 10 grand. To me, that's just crazy. Pretty fun car. All right, folks. Well, I wanted to put something out here for you and let you know I'm still alive. I'm bored to death like everybody else. I'm ready to go back to work. I'm sick of sitting around the house. My projects are done, you know. You can only do so much. And if you notice, my car's sitting downhill. It's because the ass end's kind of sitting in a dip in the yard there. That's why it's set so low on the ass end. So is the Corvette. It's sitting in the same dip. But yeah, I'm ready to go back to work, man. This is freaking nuts. I don't know if I'm going to go back to work for the same company I work for. Last thing I heard, the old boy was selling his truck, so I don't know if we'll be back to him. I'm probably going to have to find me another job at another tow lot somewhere, probably. Hopefully wherever I go to work at, they'll still let me keep running my YouTube, you know, and I'll promote the hell out of their channel, out of their company. I don't know about the rest of the country, but they're supposed to do a final, what they call a final opening this Monday in 2 days here in Kansas City, where everything gets opened back up, and I can't wait. Well, folks, hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. Be safe, have fun. Bye, guys.